Alright, what's up guys? On this video I'm going to walk you through a list that I've made of 6 aspects of living in Colorado. You know, in my 15 years, these are things that continually come up as far as things that some people just don't jive well with in Colorado. So I'm going to get into it. First thing, number 6, is going to be the altitude and the dry climate. So Denver's positioning in the country and its elevation causes unique challenges for a lot of people that just move here. These are essentials for living in Colorado. Sunscreen, chapstick. I never used to have chapstick on me until I came here. Lotion. I always have lotion actually next to my bed, which causes suspicion when people are over my house and they see it.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
But you gotta put it on your feet and hands at night. Basically just douse yourself because the altitude and climate is so dry that it just really sucks all the moisture out of your body. So I have these all around my house. It looks like the sequel to the movie Signs.
There's a monster outside my room. Can I have a glass of water?
Remember that one? But it's high, it's hot, the sun is always out, which is really great, but sometimes it's too much and it can really beat the crap out of you if you're in it and exposed for too long. I always put sunscreen on. I mean, disclaimer is I'm super white.
I thought I was just a standard white guy.
But in order to not burn super quick, I put on at least 30 SPF before I get in the car, and then whenever I get out of the car I put on another layer because the sun at the higher altitude, it's like a direct hit and it is super sunny out here all the time. Again, a lot of people love that, which I do, but it's a negative in that it'll beat up your skin, beat up your house, talking about housing. In the mountains especially, a house with a great view of the south, it's great and I love the sun, but if it's just pouring in and beating on your house all day, it's gonna beat up your deck, it's gonna beat up your siding. So I'll see mountain houses that one side of the house basically like needs re-sided and the north side doesn't get really any sun and it looks fine. So a combination of the altitude and the sun, it just creates a super dry climate. So bloody boogers, bloody noses, getting dehydrated faster. Really everything that you think that you need to just douse your body and soak your body, you have to do that because it just gets sucked right out of you. Another thing about being at the high altitude is we're super susceptible to wildfires because everything is so dry. So I think the past 3 years they've had fire bans on a lot of areas. So while we don't have hurricanes, in the mountains we don't have tornadoes. Once you go out east of the city, and actually Highlands Ranch got hit by a tornado last week, but more like Aurora, they'll have tornadoes sometimes. But the real big natural disaster in the mountains is not putting the fires out. And then since you're at altitude, any water source, like last year I went to Lake Norris in Tennessee and had a great little boating trip with the fam. What I noticed out there is, man, the water is so nice. It's like chilly bath water, which is exactly what you want in the summer. However, most of the water up here, it gets pretty cold. Like if you go Grand Lake is an awesome lake in the mountains, but just getting in and swimming around, whew. And the last thing I'll mention that's a condition of the geographical location that we're in is hailstorms. So because we're at the high climate, when it rains, sometimes it comes down, it's chilly, and those just turn into giant ice balls. So if you have a really nice car, you're gonna wanna have a carport, a garage, and definitely wanna have the comprehensive coverage on your vehicle so that if it does get hit, it gets taken care of. Otherwise, you're going to have just the pits all over your car, and that is not the look we're going for. But let's move on. We're going to talk about the wildlife. Although we don't have the little things that creep me out, like we don't have a ton of spiders and we don't have a ton of mosquitoes, we do have a lot of bigger prey that would love to have you and your little dog as a snack. We have mountain lions, we have bears, we have moose that will stomp the yard, we have elk that ram tourists every year because they get too close trying to get that selfie. If you're driving in the mountains, you will notice that you don't see any stray animals in the mountains because they get got. It is no joke in the mountains. Moose and mountain lions, I've been here over 15 years. I haven't seen one in person. Mountain lions, I know they've probably seen me because I hike enough. my biggest fear, getting killed by a bear, because they're just gonna like tear you apart. They don't care about your feelings. At least the mountain lion's gonna go for your neck, you cut off your air supply, and you know, that's a nicer way. But they are out there, and I'm always carrying bear spray on my hikes. Whenever I go into the mountains, I just leave it in my car. Also good to thwart off any carjackings. So having this in your car is a great necessity in Colorado. So mostly in the areas of like evergreen, conifer, golden, you're gonna get mainly like deer, elk, fox, an occasional black bear. But then once you get west, kind of like by Pine and Bailey, that's where you'll start to see more mountain lions. And then when you go north, like Grand Lake and Red Feather Lakes, that's where you'll start to see more moose. Just in case, be prepared. Also, since I guess we're talking about the outdoors and it being real, always like download your maps or take a picture of the maps of the trail that you're gonna go on. I love the all trails map if I'm gonna be out there, but showing homes, I lose service all the time. And if you're out there on a trail and you get lost off the trail, you gotta have some type of connectivity. And also just all the wilderness is real. You don't wanna be caught up at the top of a mountain during a lightning storm, so there's certain things that you do to prepare so you're not at the peak midday. And then also cutting the day early in the winter because the sun drops really quick when you're in the mountains and it's cold and you don't wanna get lost out there at night. Now we talked a lot about the wilderness, we can take it to civilization. Let's talk about the food game in Denver. Expensive and not very good. And on top of not having a great food culture, they're slackers. They shut it down early around Denver. It's so hard to find any type of food other than pizza after 10 p.m. Don't even get me started on the food truck game. Food trucks are great, however, I'm getting food out of a truck. Why am I paying so much? Like I'll pay like $24 for a little rice bowl with dope sauce and some shrimp on there. Getting seafood out of a food truck, cut me a break. Lower your prices. We do seem to have pretty good breakfast places, like breakfast burritos. I think we have some bomb burritos around the area. Hot damn, that's good. But then like Biscuits & Co. and Snooze, Toast, Sassafras, all those places are really great, but they also get the crazy lines out front for brunch, and so I avoid those at all costs on the weekends. Number 3 on the countdown is pricing. The housing is really high priced. Now, we do have some of the lowest housing property taxes rates in the country, which is cool, but holy crap, just getting in the door, there's a high barrier to entry. Up in the foothills where I live right now, like Evergreen area, it's like $800K is the median list price. Now you could go Conifer, Bailey, Blackhawk, Idaho Springs. There's lots of expensive places, but if you want to be right by the city and in the foothills, it's like $800K, or otherwise if it's under that price, it's going to be a lot of competition. If you're going into the city and you're looking to buy anything with like a backyard, so a single family detached home, really hard to find anything of substance that's under $400,000. So that's kind of like the low point. Some homes do pop up. There'll be like a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, small home, 800 square feet. Those pop up every now and then, but they get snatched up pretty quick if they're in any type of good condition, because there's a big market for homes that would be perceived as a first-time home buyer home, because we've had so many millennials moving to the area the past like 15 years in Colorado that started out in apartments and then moved to townhomes, and then they're having kids or they need a place for the dog, and so they want a backyard, and they're all just jumping on the houses. And what makes it really hard for now first-time home buyers is putting 20% down on a $400,000 house is $80K. That is a lot for any first-time home buyer to have to bite off without assistance from the fam, getting some type of down payment assistance program, which is great, or you're just putting in a lower amount under 20% that just usually carries mortgage insurance on it. So it's hard for a lot of these first-time home buyers because it's also competitive in Colorado, and if you're only putting 3% down with an FHA loan, and then there's anybody else that has 10% down with slightly better financing, the seller was going to go with the more secure offer most of the time, right? So what I'll explain to a lot of first-time home buyers is if your pre-approval came in less than what you're happy with and you're not able to be competitive or get the type of home that you want, I would still encourage you to not rent, because renting's not cheap here either. Get into a townhome or a condo, somewhere where you feel secure about the property and the unit, and it will appreciate in value, and then you could go have that nice stack of cash from the sale of that property and go purchase a house. So that's the call I'm having a lot with people, and it sucks that you're not going to be able to get exactly what you want or be in the area that you want. When I'm talking to people about where they want to live, one of the first things I ask is what's their pre-approval amount, because that will really dictate the options available to you. But I'm here to help. I got your back on that. Now, staying on the topic of housing, HOAs are expensive out here. Most of them, for like any type of building, condo building, like $250 a month is inexpensive. I see a lot of like $350, $450, $550 if it's offering like pool, rec center, fitness room, rooftop, all those like extra amenities could be easily $500 a month. But with the HOAs, you really gotta check out all the details of what they do offer, but still it is pretty expensive out here. Some of our clients have a lot of success with a new construction property because it's not always as competitive to get in there. And by going that route, what sucks about that is a lot of these areas will have what's called a metro district tax. And what that is the builder is given a fee from the city, the county, to create all the infrastructure, everything that goes in to building a community. So there could be a hefty metro district tax on your new construction home for, like 5 years, 7 years, something like that. So there's just all these extra costs that come with living out here. Number 2 is our traffic out here. We have mountain traffic, we have city traffic, we have this blazing sun that if you don't have window tinting on your car, you're just gonna get roasted. If you're coming up from like the tech center up to the city and going north, at 4 o'clock, that sun is just beating into your car and you're just sitting there in bumper to bumper traffic, and it absolutely sucks. So you start to learn the routes, the best ways to go, to try to avoid those times. I do everything I can to not travel to Aurora from where I'm at 5 o'clock in the afternoon if I can avoid it, because it's gonna be a shit show and I'm not gonna get home until like 7:30 once I fight my way all the way back. There's city traffic all the time if you're going like 6th Avenue south onto I-25. So if you're coming from like Golden and heading towards Denver and you're driving there in the morning, one, you're gonna have the sun just in your eyes first thing in the morning, and then you're gonna have to make that turn onto 6th Avenue, and it's always backed up. So we have a lot of little fender benders and bumps because everyone's on their freaking phones anymore. If you want to avoid some of the traffic on some of the main highways like 470 and Highway 36 that goes from Denver up to Boulder, you're gonna have to pay for it. So they do have the Easy Pass that's available, but if you want to try to avoid any of the traffic, you gotta pay for it. That's lame. Beyond that, you pay a lot for your vehicle registration when you come out here. Your vehicle registration fee is based off of the percentage of the MSRP, and so paying $700, $1,000, $1,500 to get your car registered can happen, and that's also lame.
Excuse me, brah. You're excused.
If you hate that fact but you appreciate the video, give me a thumbs up on the video to help this get seen by more people. I appreciate you appreciating me. And the number one aspect of living in Colorado that you may not like, depending on where you're coming from and what you believe, is the diversity and perspective out here. Something to know about Denver is there are not a lot of people that live here that are from here. The people that are from here will absolutely brag to you that they're from here, but Denver's an awesome place and the word is out. And so I'm helping people all the time move from all over the country, finding their spot in Colorado. They're somewhere in Colorado. And one of the questions I always get asked about each area is, what type of people live there? And I can't really answer that question because I love my real estate license, but I can tell you that there's a lot of different perspectives out in Colorado because nobody is from here. For the most part, I think it's a really don't start nothing, won't be nothing type attitude in the city. You do your thing, I'll do mine. There's nobody that's too in your face, waving flags that much. You see it a little bit, but it's definitely not bad as like Portland, or something like that. So people are, I think, a little bit more accepting to all types of living as long as you're not in their face about it. Some characteristics of the people that I see moving to Colorado: the people that love the outdoors, the people that love to get after it, the people that care about being in nature and being outdoorsy can show up as being hippy dippy and going camping and staring at the stars, or you have people that are going out into the woods and hunting animals to feed the family. We got a little bit of everything. With the hippie vibe come the green extracurriculars, and there are more dispensaries than Starbucks out in Colorado. But I'd say unless you're downtown, you really don't notice it too much. I think everyone's very respectful about that. But you do drive around, you're getting service from some kid at the grocery store. He's already got one AirPod in. You don't know if he's listening to.
You hear me, Lebowski?
Maybe that's also why our traffic sucks. But having so many people from different places, there's a lot of different perspectives and driving habits. So kind of tagging on traffic as well. Florida, Texas, and California, you guys love moving here. We love you too. Just learn how to drive in the snow or take it easy. Just stay out of the way. Don't get stuck. Don't block up traffic. Don't go up I-70 with any type of traction on your wheels. There's also a lot of fit people out here as well, which is kind of a negative because, gosh, when could I just relax and not have to be in shape? I'm kidding. It's a good thing that you're around a lot of health conscious people. If you have certain dietary restrictions, a lot of places will accommodate things. So I'm sure restaurateurs would decide that that sucks. That's a negative thing about living up here. But although that's a big old list of things that suck about Colorado, one of my favorite things is helping you guys find exactly where you'll be happy. Reach out, shoot us a text, send us an email, scroll by fence. If there's something I missed that you think sucks about Colorado, put it down below. I know some of you probably will mention that I suck, and to you I say shut up. That's not nice. Just kidding, I can take it. But that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Love you. Peace. Bye.